Alright, so I'm going to be replacing the screen on this HP Pavilion laptop. Let's see if I can get you the model number here. So the model number is 15-CS3073CL. Alright, so I've already actually taken some of it apart because I had to check the screen model number for the customer. Sometimes the screens vary, so you don't want to just use the same model number. Also, this screen is pretty difficult to remove because they put a lot of adhesive on here. So yeah, keep that in mind. To take out the screen, there's a lot of adhesive. So when you peel this out, there's actually a good chance that you will further damage the screen. So if you're doing this on a computer with a good screen, you want to be very careful because there's a good chance you're going to end up destroying it. Alright, so anyways, there's still some double stick adhesive here, but this is like all the other models where it's kind of clipped in. This little piece is a little bit of a pain to remove. I've actually worked on another model that's very similar. I think I probably made a video of it. I'll have to see if I can find it. But sometimes it doesn't go in right. I think right now it actually went in the right way, but sometimes it doesn't and it's a pain. And then you might have to actually remove the screen to make it easier. But anyways, so normally this just clips into place like this, alright? And then there's a bunch of adhesive holding it. So right now I'm just going to be removing the bezel just to show. But basically you'd be peeling up the adhesive a lot. And then you'd want to usually pull it in this way, if I remember correctly, as you pull it up. Let's see here. So, okay, so I'm getting my fingernail up here to help. And yeah, it's coming out. Okay, so yeah, you would pull the frame inwards towards the center as you kind of lift it up and pull it out. Again, I already took this out and there's a lot of adhesive, so it's kind of a pain. But I had to do that for the customer so they could see. So I wasn't able to record it. Anyways, once you get all this out, this adhesive is actually pretty difficult at the bottom here. So I actually use this tool to hold the black plastic part of the screen in place as I kind of like pull it out, just like this, okay? Again, I already removed it, so that's why it's coming out so easily, but it takes a while to remove that. As you can see, all this adhesive. And you want to push this down because you don't want to tear out this layer here, okay? So anyways, then underneath there's some white stretch adhesives here that you have to use like tweezers or pliers to get to. That adhesive is a pretty big pain. Basically, you have to get underneath the adhesive, grab it. It helps to use not these tweezers, but pliers, needle nose pliers that have teeth on them. So something like this, all right? But you can use whatever works. Also, the tweezers, if you can get underneath, it helps to kind of like wrap it around the tweezers, like just rotate the tweezers to wrap it around like noodles. And then you can pull it underneath between here. So those are stretch release adhesives. So you actually want to pull it straight back. So when you can, you want to pull the adhesive back underneath this in this gap. And then you can just pull it straight back. And it'll stretch really long, so keep that in mind. It's gonna just keep pulling and pulling, and you want to try and pull it as straight as possible, because if you tear that adhesive, then the only way to get the screen out is you have to like basically pull this screen, and it's gonna get all cracked even more. On this one, if I remember correctly, it snapped on one side, and what I had to do was I stuck some popsicle sticks in there. And then as it slowly peeled, it takes a long time, like over 20, 30, 40 minutes. Then you slowly move it down and just slowly keep moving it down until, if you're lucky, you'll be able to see the adhesive in there. And then if you can grab that out with tweezers or the needle nose pliers, then you can go ahead and do the same thing from the top and just pull it straight up. But again, normally you would pull it from down here and you would pull it straight following the screen, so parallel to the screen. You don't want to try and pull it out this way because then it'll just get stuck on the screen and then it'll just tear. But anyways, once you pull those adhesives out, you can actually flip this screen forward. This adhesive sticks to it a little bit, so you might have to pull that a little to make it easier to work on. Okay, but you want to be careful because you don't want to damage that cable, of course. So anyways, you would flip the screen forward like this, and then you can actually see screen model number on this sticker here. Again, I don't want to give the screen model number because a lot of times if I give the model number, some people might have a different model screen, then they'll order the wrong thing, and then it's going to be kind of, they'll be stuck with that, or they have to pay return shipping. So you always want to check your own screen model number. Don't use a model number that you found online unless you know for 100% what you're doing. You'd have to know the exact resolution of the screen and everything like that, if it's touchscreen, non-touchscreen, matte, not matte. Also, even just the distance here can be slightly different. There's not much slack here, so sometimes this can be slightly over by like 2 millimeters or something, and that'll be enough that you can't even use the screen. So you want to check, make sure you get the right screen model. All right, so anyways, we're not going to take the screen out yet because you have to disconnect the battery and then hold the power button to drain any residual power. If you don't, you can fry the backlight circuit. So it's very important that you remove the battery or disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds before getting to that. Anyways, my customer sent a message, so give me a second, I need to respond to them. All right, sorry about that, I'm back. So anyways, let's go ahead and take this thing apart. So there's some hidden screws under these rubber feet. I'm not sure if there's any screws underneath this one, but let's go ahead and remove this rubber foot. So I just used my fingernail. You can use whatever, plastic pry tools or whatever works for you. All right, so there you go. You got that rubber foot out. Same thing with this side. So you just get in one edge and then you kind of push it underneath, and there we go. Okay, so we're gonna remove that screw and we're gonna remove these two screws. Again, I think I made a more thorough video of a very similar model for this. It's also blue, but I think it's just a different configuration, so the model number is different. If you need help finding that, just let me know, but it's basically the same thing. Let's go ahead and pop this foot out just to see. Okay, there's no screw holes under here. So I think maybe they use this for different models. Actually, I don't know why they put that little hole there. Maybe that's where they do the injection molding. At least this one is. I don't know about that one. Maybe they reuse this model for different computers. So I'm going to assume that there's nothing on this one either. So these three screws are PH1 or JS1 screws. I keep them in order by putting the flat side down in the pattern I remove them. So one in that corner and then two diagonal like that. And then we got three screws up here. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver because these screws use a smaller screwdriver. Okay, if you try and use the same one, you're either not going to be able to remove it, or you might even strip the screw and make it so that you can't remove them at all. So make sure you get the right screwdrivers to do this. Okay, and you want to make sure to put enough force that the screwdriver doesn't just pop out from the screw head. All right, so there we go. So we got those three. All right, and then let's go ahead and remove the bottom cover. So usually I use my fingernails to do this. So the way I do that is I get my fingernails into the gap here. You can use plastic pry tools if you want. So I get in the gap. Let's see if I can do it. This one might be a little tough, but I get in there and then I kind of push with my thumbs here. All right, you can see it works. You might also be able to use a suction cup, but I'm going to just do it this way. Okay, so this side for some reason is stuck a lot stronger. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Getting underneath and pop up all these clips. All right. So now that we got that, we're going to go over here. I'm going to run my fingernail along this groove while I kind of lift this up, and hopefully it will pop out. And okay, so I'm lifting more from the center here, so that way it flexes the plastic cover inwards, and that helps release the clips. Okay, so it might also help to use a suction cup, so let me try that as well, because that helps pull the center up more. Actually, the clips in the center are really strong, so that doesn't seem to want to work. So we're just going to keep going through here. I actually trimmed my left thumbnail a little bit, so now it's a little tough. Let's go ahead and try going over to this side. And we're going to go over this way and see about popping this side up. So it popped up those clips. Okay. Wow, these clips are really strong. Okay, there we go. So I'm also pulling the cover inwards this way. Again, you can use plastic pry tools for this. You don't have to use fingernails because a lot of people don't like to grow out their fingernails. Okay, so there we go. We got this whole side up. Let's go ahead now and go around the back here. Hopefully we can pop it up pretty much the same way. Basically get in that little groove there and pull that up. All right, same thing. I'm flexing the case this way, so I'm putting my fingers under here and pushing with my thumb to flex the cover. So that way it pulls the clips away. And there you can see it's popping out. Okay, seems there's a pretty strong clip in the center there. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to remove that. Wow, these clips are really strong. Okay, so let's continue going on this side. I'm gonna use my other fingernails to do this then. Okay. Wow, these clips are really strong. Okay, I should not have trimmed my thumbnail. Now it's even more difficult. There we go. Okay, there we go. And that's why I don't like cutting my nails too short. It makes this work a lot harder. Okay, so again, there are some clips here in the middle, it seems. So we're probably going to have to wiggle the case around to get it. But we got most of this out, so let's go ahead and go along the back here again and pop these case clips out. Come on. Wow. Wow, these case clips are really strong. Okay, let's see if we can kind of wiggle this to pop it out. It actually ended up popping itself in more. Also notice there's a bend in this cover and this metal frame here. Okay, we got most of them. Man, the clips on this are really strong. Okay, let's see. Can I pull this over to the side maybe? There we go. So I pulled this, the bottom, or I guess the screen part here, this way, and then I pulled the cover this way, and that released the clip. Most likely the clip is holding like this. So then when I pulled the cover, that I guess it's going the opposite way. So actually, it's going like this way. So this way. Okay. So when I pulled the cover over this way, it went like that and it released the clip. Okay, so now we got that clip out. Hopefully now we can get these other ones out by kind of wiggling it and moving it. Okay, there we go. Same thing, flexing the cover. And these covers in the back are still holding really strong, so you kind of have to flex it more. Let's see if we can do that with the suction cup. Okay. Yeah, and you want to flex it inwards. There you go. That actually released it really easily. So the main trick is just knowing which way to flex the cover. So same thing, I'm going to pull this screen part this way and then the cover this way and then lift it, and there you go. So here you can see we got that out. Here you can actually see the clips in there. They're like little hooks, and that's how it holds itself in place. Okay, so the reason we needed to get into here again is to remove the battery. So we're just gonna remove that. Let's zoom in a bit. Oops, not that much. All right, so we're gonna remove the battery from here, and then we're going to open it up, press and hold the power button to drain the residual power, and then we can go ahead and swap the screen out. Oops. Make sure you switch back to the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver, excuse me. Okay, and let's go ahead and get these screws out. I'm gonna show like the other components inside here, but I'm not going to be removing them because this is just for the screen repair and I don't want to risk damaging anything else. Right, you can see the two fans in there. Anyways, again, make sure to keep all the screws in order. Okay, once we got all the screws out, we're going to go ahead and pull the battery up. You can go from the corners or even over here, just lift it up. All right, comes out very easily and it swings out this way. Battery model number is right here, HT03XL. If you want, there's also the HP spare part number, L11119-855. All right, so there we go. We're gonna set that aside. Hopefully the screen they sent is correct. It's a used pulled screen. Anyways, let's go ahead and see one of the sticks of RAM. So we're gonna pull these two tabs away from the stick of RAM. Pops up at an angle like that, and then you can pull it out. The RAM is PC42666V. You can use any PC42666V RAM. So if you want to upgrade it, you can get two 16 gig sticks. Right now it already has two 8 gig sticks for 16 gigs total, which is plenty RAM. You don't really need more than that for most people. So yeah. All right, anyways, after removing the battery, let's go ahead and slowly, carefully open the computer. You want to do this very carefully because now there's less screws holding the hinges. Then we're going to press and hold the power button here for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This will make it a lot safer to work on and will reduce the risk of damaging it if you mess up anything. All right. Some people ask if they have to. It only takes 15 seconds and it can save you from like hundreds of dollars of damage. So just do it to be safe. All right. So anyways, let's go ahead and slowly, carefully close this back down. Okay. Here you can see the trackpad connector, keyboard connector, keyboard backlight connector, hard drive, 2.5-inch SATA hard drive connector here. There are two screws holding this, and then once you remove that, you can swing the hard drive up like that. This connector is the SATA connector, just like every other computer. So if you want to see how to remove those, again, watch a few of my other videos. I don't want to mess around with it because there is a slight risk of damage if I remove other components that don't need to be removed. You got the SD card slot here on a separate board, so if for some reason it's not working, you can actually replace that board or the cable or both. All right, you got the M.2 slot here. I don't know if it supports PCIe, NVMe, or just the M.2 SATAs, or both. Sometimes it'll support both. They don't really say. And the slot is always the same. I forgot if it's M key, B key, or whatever you call it. But they're always with the same slot. So there's no way to know without actually either trying it or finding someone online that already did it. All right. Anyways, you got the DC jack or charge port connector going along here underneath the hinge. You can actually take this out without removing this whole screen assembly. Basically what you do is you open the screen slightly, take these screws out, and then when you put this base back down, the hinge will be slightly up, and then you can kind of open it as much before it like hits this back here. Then you can actually pull that out. You got the two USB ports here on its own separate board with its own cable, so if that breaks you can replace that board. Then there's this little lock mechanism. I don't know anybody that uses that. You got the fans here. It looks like there's two screws for each, and then I think this is shared between the two fans, and then this one has also another screw there, so I guess technically 3 screws on each. These connectors you kind of just grab and you kind of just wiggle them as you slowly pull it out. Wireless card here, all right. Antennas, you just pull them up straight from the tail. The wireless card comes out just like the RAM, but it's held in with a screw, comes up at an angle, and then you pull it out. Same with the SSD if you're putting one of those. CPU is soldered to the board, so you can't upgrade that. All right, if you want to redo the thermal paste, it looks like you just remove these 4 screws here and these 2 screws here. I think this is the GPU. All right, you got the LCD LVDS connector here. If you're messing with this, again, you do want to disconnect the battery, open up the laptop, press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds, and then you should be okay. Speakers are connected here. I'm pretty sure there's a wire going underneath to this speaker on this side. And I think that's pretty much all there is. Everything else is on the motherboard. Keyboard is held in with melted plastic, so if you want to replace the keyboard, you probably want to replace the whole keyboard palm rest assembly, not just the keyboard itself. The touchpad is removable. There's 3 screws here, and I believe there's 3 screws here underneath the cable. You can see one actually right there. They do use different screws. This looks like a PH0 or JIS0, and then these are PH1 or JIS1. All right, anyways, yeah. And again, you want to be careful opening and closing the screen because without the cover, it's missing some screws here. So it's not as strong. Same thing over here, missing 1 screw. Okay, so anyways, we're going to now replace the screen. If you're going to lay this down on your table or something, you want to be careful. Make sure it's not something that can short out the bottom of your computer. Again, if you drain the battery before doing this, you'll probably be okay. Oh, there's some junk in there. Let's throw that away. Okay. So let's go ahead and open this up. The fans actually look pretty clean, so yeah, I don't think we need much cleaning with that. All right, so let's go ahead and slowly, carefully open this up. And then we're gonna drop the screen forward. Okay, nothing's gonna fall out of here, right? Yeah, looks okay. All right, so let's go ahead and drop the screen forward. I am going to use some double stick adhesive to hold the new screen in place because it doesn't have the adhesive here anymore. Again, there used to be adhesive going along the back here, those stretch adhesive tabs. I can probably put back some similar stretch adhesive, but it's not required. You can use any double stick tape, okay? So anyways, let's go ahead and remove the screen connector here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys. I can't zoom in too much because then the computer will be going off the desk, but all right, let's go ahead and use this plastic razor blade and try and get underneath the connector here. Wow, this one's stuck pretty strong, or maybe I need a new blade. Let's see here. Okay, it's getting underneath. So we're gonna cut underneath this adhesive here. All right, this is being difficult, so let me actually get another blade and then we'll try again. So give me a second, I'll get a blade and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. Let's see if this new blade makes a difference. Not much, but okay, I think it's helping a little. All right, so we're just gonna cut underneath this adhesive. Usually once I get enough of the adhesive up, I like to just grab it and then slowly peel it. Okay, just like this. We're probably gonna have to put some new double stick adhesive if it didn't keep enough on the plastic tab, but it looks like it has enough. All right, so there's no flip tab or anything on here. So basically once you get the adhesive up, you wanna just go along the outside edges, the wings here, and then you're gonna pull it back just like that. Okay, so there's the screen, and this one's the bad one. There's adhesive all over it. So again, this is how you see the screen model number. You don't want to just assume yours is the same, but this is how you find the model number, just like that. You'll see the manufacturer and stuff like that. Usually it'll have the screen size, so this is 156, so 15.6 inches, and then it'll have other random numbers there. So again, you don't want to just copy that number because yours might be different. And if you copy it, you could end up with the wrong parts. If you're willing to take that risk, you can go ahead, but I don't recommend it. All right, so anyways, now we're going to open up the new screen. So it's actually still sealed in the box, so let me cut it open. I probably should have checked it beforehand, because sometimes the screens arrive damaged, but the box looks to be in good condition. There's no dents on it or anything. Except for this little corner crease here, but other than that, you can barely even tell. Yeah, there. So other than that, the box looks to be in good condition. Sometimes the people that deliver packages to my house just toss stuff. There's also a good amount of bubble wrap all over this thing, so I have a feeling this screen should be fine unless the seller shipped me a already broken screen. So we'll see. That usually doesn't happen. At least I hope not. Alright, so this tape is wrapped around too much, so I'm going to cut it. Okay, normally I just peel the tape off and then I can reuse it. Alright, I think now that I cut it, I can do that. Sorry, I know this is off screen. If you want, you can just fast forward over this stuff. But, yeah, okay, got the tape off. Okay. I don't know if they wrapped it. Did they put multiple? Oh, they put multiple things of tape. So I'm going to take this out. Yeah, they wrapped it multiple ways with tape. So, okay, so I'm just going to cut it to make it easier. Again, normally I would save this tape because that's just how I am. And cut this. I like to use it for like the hinge repairs and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut this as well. Cut this side as well. Okay. I don't know what's holding this. Oh, okay, that side's fine. Okay. More pieces of tape to save. Sorry, this isn't really part of the repair. It's just I just always just record everything. So, all right, let's cut this open. All right, I think you can access the screen now, so I'm just gonna pull this out. Oh no, it's still stuck in there. Okay, actually, okay, we got it. Okay, so we got this out. All right, so here's the screen. And this one, I believe, is the same exact model number. A lot of times the sellers will send like compatible replacements, not the exact model number, but they use the model number to basically figure out the resolution and things like that. But even sometimes the sellers will use that, and then, like I said, sometimes the connector is not in the same position, and then it won't fit. So anyways, they also put a little warranty sticker on there, okay? All right, if there's any problem with the order. Okay, so they gave a thing that said if there's anything wrong with the screen to contact them first. You don't want to go through the regular system like eBay or Amazon and give them bad reviews, because that ruins their store. So give them a chance to help you first. Okay, so here's the screen. It looks like there are some slight scratches on it. Hopefully it shouldn't be too visible when using it. All right, anyways, I have a customer here, so let me go bring them their computer and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So let's go ahead and now reconnect this. Okay, so basically just line this. Oh, actually, I just noticed something. I hope this screen's okay. So I just noticed this. You see that? It looks burnt there. So I'm gonna brush that just to be safe, because if that's like pins are connected or something, that can be bad. I hope it didn't melt. Those pins aren't melted. Maybe they tested it and didn't drain the battery, like I always mention in my videos. Let me get a close look at this and see. That pin looks completely burnt off. Shoot. Okay, so most likely this screen is toast. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, this pin I think is completely burnt. I'm actually kind of scared to plug this into the computer. Maybe I shouldn't. Let me make sure it's completely cleaned off. I don't think I should plug this in because, yeah, because if I do, if there's something melted in here connecting the pins, that can actually be really bad. So I don't think I should plug that in. So I might actually have to stop this repair here, sadly. It's pretty straightforward what you have to do to put it back in. Basically just get this connector, reconnect this on there, okay, and then you can get some adhesive, double stick adhesive to put on the back edges. All right, let me zoom out a bit more. Okay, so basically you can put double stick adhesive here, and then you just stick it back on. You want to make sure that the top edges here line up over there, okay, on these corners, so that way it gets in completely. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. You would just snap back in the bezel. For the bezel, you do want to get this bottom piece in first, so you want to make sure it gets in down there. So you swing that over into there and get that into place. But anyways, I don't trust this screen because of that damage that I see there. Could be the backlights also burnt out, so even if I fix this pin, it might not fix the problem. So yeah, good thing I noticed that. Anyways, so we're gonna just leave that as is. Hopefully this video still helps you guys. Again, I have another laptop that's video that's very similar to this model. I think it's actually almost the same exact thing. The screen is probably different, but anyways, hopefully it helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.